Are we live? Are we alive tonight, everybody? Happy Valentine's Day to you. A day of love and rockin'. I'm hoping for everybody. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight on this very special day. And of course, we're celebrating. We're celebrating you. We're celebrating rocks. We're celebrating love. And I'm glad that you can be here tonight for this splendid affair. We've got guests tonight. We are going to extend the love to many, many of us all chatting about it tonight here on the Friday Night Live here at the Ozone. I'm Karen. Just in case you didn't know that already, we've got Ryan in the house. We have Wisconsin Rockstalker here. Good to see you. Eric the cat is also joining us for some rock lovin'. And we've got Val Summers. Good to see you. Just one more rock. That's what we're all saying all the time. Just one more rock, please, please. Bob's Rocks is here, and I'm sure is celebrating all of those wonderful little baby goats. That's some love to rock out. Blind Squirrel Rocks is here with a 5x5. Thank you so much. Rocky Mountain Bear is here also, driving home from Tucson. Man, I'm so happy that you got a chance to go to that big rock loving affair. We would love to hear some stories. I would love to hit you up and maybe you can come on and tell us some fun stories. I stopped at McDonald's in Kingman on Route 66. He's on Route 66, everybody. I'll sing it. He got his rocks on Route 66. That Opal guy is here and is a biological simulant. I love that. All right. We might be real or simulants this evening. It just depends on where you're at, I think. We have the coolest theme tonight. And I hope to cheers you all. Toasts and Steinkerns. Cheers to you and yours for this wonderful theme on this wonderful Valentine's Day. Make sure to stay hydrated. We are going to be hitting the rocks hard in the best way. We've got some eye candy ready for you this evening, specifically about photographing the eye candy. So drink up. Yeah, compile, post all that stuff. So that is the theme this evening. We are inviting you into this discussion. I would love to hear from all of you out there. Everybody has been wondering at some point, how do I film or take a picture of my rock for videos or to share with other people for sales? All these things. How do we get the good pictures? Julie from Arizona Rock Hound Expeditions did a great video on this. And yet, and there's tutorials galore out there on YouTube, on Facebook. There's some really great groups about taking shots of your gemstones. All of you guys out there with channels know what the trials and the successes are for taking rocks and taking good pictures of them. That's what we're going to discuss tonight. And I want you guys in the chat along for the discussion. You guys out there that are lurking, if you have things to pitch in, tips and tricks, we would love to hear them. One of the questions that the opening montage asked was, what's the greatest, bestest picture that you've taken of a rock? Think of it in your head about how that happened. And then what is the worst one? Was it because of the rock that it happened so well or so badly? It was it because of the lighting, the circumstances, the tool? Like, do you have a good phone or camera to be taking them? And so we are going to be talking about that. Phil Stover is in the house, and Margaret Caro also. Lisa is here brandishing her wrench. It's so good to see you, and she is eating very good. Patricia's Creations is here. Yogi Bear is here, and thank you so much for suggesting to hit that like button. The YouTube loves to send it around to more people if everybody's liking it, and you guys know that this is definitely about us all enjoying rocks the way that our biggest platform here, the way that we know each other is through the internet. So on YouTube or on Facebook or on the TikTok or Instagram, any of these things, we're trying to share visually what it is this passion is of ours, which is the rock thing, right? And so the best way to show your support and is free. That's right. Thank you so much for that. Cynthia Foss is here. If you haven't checked out her new video, she's got a microscope video, and that is included in how we're taking pictures of the rocks, you know. So we have the long shots of rocks, we have the macro of rocks, and down underneath that microzone and microscope. That was like a Freudian slip there. It's always the microzone for me. Reptile Z is here in the house. Thank you so much for coming. It's great to see all y'all. And Mr. Turtle says, I always say that the only thing harder than polishing a rock is taking a picture of a rock that shows the polish. Exactly. How do we crack the code on bringing these beauties to all the eyeballs? You know, and we're gonna discuss that. Like, do you leave the glare in so that you can see the fabulous polish, you know, without light glimmering off the top of it? We don't know how polished it is, and yet if you got the light glimmering off the top of it, you're obscuring part of the beautiful pattern of the rock. So how do we fix this? It's quite exciting. um and so we are. I wanted to let you know. It looks like Jahick is here in the house as well. Good to see you, Caleb. We have some guests. We have some guests here tonight, and they're going to share as we bring each guest on into the studio here. They're going to share what their best rock that they have shot before is, and what their worst rock that they have shot before is, and maybe a really brief description on why, and then we'll move to the next person. We'll load up the board, and then we'll go ahead and get into the meat of this conversation. And we would love to, like I said, hear from you guys on all of these subjects. And so what's your best and your worst is, and then of course as we're running through some of the other uh themes of this evening's conversation, like I said, the glare or composition, what you do as far as the editing goes, like once it's in the camera, what do you do with it? And Margaret says right here, with pendants, either the stone looks clear in true color or the wire is in focus and not reflecting too much, but I can't seem to do both. And so, yeah, like depth of field is another big one. And those of us who do the microscopy know that depth of field is a humdinger on you. But yeah, when you're doing jewelry pieces, it's huge. And so we will definitely be talking about that, and I would love to hear what people's problems are. Fluff and hairs in microscope photos is such a problem. Any of the macro shots, like whenever I'm taking pictures of the gemstones, the faceted gems, there's always like this one teeny weeny microscopic piece of lint that's hanging on to one of the facets, and you're like, yeah, uh-huh. And so looks like everybody's got their stuff solved and move on. This is great. All right. So I'm going to and I'm going to get the guests on. I promise you guys, they're coming. I have a lot of experience with jewelry photography, but zero with rocks. This will be interesting. And actually, you weighing in is going to be very valuable because just like what Margaret brought up as far as like being able to get the entire piece of jewelry in as far as an informative depth of field is tricky. So we would love to hear what you have to say about that. And I like this. And good evening. Good to see you, Julie. Portrait setting on cell phone helps a bit. So each of the different tools that we have, like a camera, as opposed to, with different lenses, as opposed to a video capturing device like a GoPro and that sort of thing, as opposed to your phone. All of these things are going to take different types of shots, right? And um, yeah. I was trying to take a picture of opals. Hard. Yeah. Like I would be tempted to say that that's one of my weakest areas, and I would, it's we're definitely going to cover the ones that are tricky this evening, like labradorite and fire obsidian and the opals, anything that's got a directional item to it. So how do you capture that? Especially if it's a still, from video to stills, we have like, a whole herd of issues. So we're actually talking about the tip of the iceberg this evening, and we will have additional additions to this particular discussion because we can scratch the surface on it tonight, which is kind of like makes everybody's skin fold as far as the hackles go up when we're talking about scratching any surfaces, unless it's in a good way, as far as the lapidary goes. But we will definitely have more episodes on this particular subject because there's just so much to cover. And so for sure, if you guys have things that you want to add, we will have opportunities to have you on, or be able to expound on certain things. And I like this as well. 99% lighting, 10% luck, which gives us 109%. I like that. I like our odds. All right, so thank you for that. I'm going to bring up one of our first guests here. We've got Ma, a regular on our live stream. And how are you doing this evening?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm especially good. It's a heart-filled evening. Happy Love Day to you. And I would love to ask, was your what do you feel was your greatest success, and what was your greatest failure on taking pictures of your rocks and jewelry?
Uh, there was one particular quartz pendant that I made that, without even trying, it photographed beautifully. And I've tried to kind of backwards engineer it, however you want to put that, to figure out why it worked so well so I could kind of apply those things to things going forward. And then as far as what have I struggled with, there's been a few things, a few moss agates, like moss agate, where it's really dark and you can't really see all the depth that's going on. I've struggled, I think, with things that are a little bit on the darker side. I always have a little bit more trouble with.
It's because you're on the light side, Ma. Don't go to the dark
True.
side. All right. Thank you so much for that. And I'm sure that you have a lot of commiserators in the chat and audience with that one. That seems to be a definite difficulty for a lot. And so we'll bring Ryan onto the stage. Those of you who are familiar, go ahead and introduce yourself, sir.
I'm Ryan. I live in Illinois. I've been kind of doing lapidary stuff probably for about 9 months. Before that, I kind of got into it because my dad used to tumble rocks, And then I kind of met a lot of you guys and kind of looked into a flat lap and then cabbing machines and been trying to learn since.
Awesome. And you come to this rock situation with actually a little bit more experience with the photography than the rocks, right?
Yeah, at least with wildlife photography, I, birds, small animals, and whatever. I never really got into the, I guess, the product placement or the studio type of photography. So kind of learning on the fly, but at least that gave a little bit of a background on the different what goes on with cameras and such to be able to help try to figure things out.
Yeah, and it is no joke. I think that there's plenty of us that have ever tried to take a picture of a rock and wanted to throw the rock and the camera out the window. Like it's
Many
not
times.
easy. Yeah. And so you actually the last I think maybe 3 or 4 slides in the montage that we had in the opening belong to Ryan. So he's got some pretty interesting comparos and things to share with us this evening with your experience. And what's your greatest success or what's your biggest failure?
I'd have to say probably my greatest success is when I was trying to, if you remember the one wire wrap Montana agate that I took, once again, like the one question, the depth of field was a little bit off with the bail, but you kind of lucked into and sometimes you have to play with things, is that the way I had the lights, it was actually making it glow from the sides. And so that kind
Mm.
of added a little extra that just kind of serendipitously to the photo. And my worst was I tried to do a like a contour polish on one of my dad's Lake Superior agates, and for the life of me, I could not get past the glare, and the colors were all not even close to what they look like. So it was very frustrating when I was trying to do that. So
Oh
I'm
man, isn't
I'm
that
finding
crazy?
chalcedony and different things like that is really difficult to photograph.
Yep. Yeah, the more mirror finish you got, like the more
Yeah.
issues you start having. And Julie is saying, I bought a Gemlight Box Pro 2 years ago. I am not that satisfied. And what's interesting about that is a lot of the folks that I've heard that have, some of the light boxes, not all of them, but some of them just ended up like hanging laundry from them. Like it just
Yeah.
didn't end up being that valuable to them. And it's always interesting to me to hear that.
Yeah, for me the light box itself isn't the issue. Is kind of the cheaper set light box, the lights that came with them were
Mhm.
a little
Mm.
bit disappointing.
Gotcha. All right. Well, we've got one more to add to our stack here. Actually, it's two more. We have Brian and
Hey.
Julie over there. Hey guys.
Hey.
Hey. You guys are in the light box.
We're in the light
We
box.
are, yeah. And this will be mostly Julie because this is her thing, not mine. So I'll just be lurking over here.
All right. Well, I'm sure that you've got good stuff to toss in, at the very least, good rocks to toss in to the mix, Brian. But thank you
Well,
for.
I'll give my only good piece of advice. When the photographer is photographing, stay the hell away.
That's actually really good advice.
I've tried to
Lamps
do
have
that to
been
myself
thrown.
too, but
Yeah, she has thrown a couple of the lamps around, and I'm usually on the other end of the house, just listening and cringing. And then when she comes in to say hi, I'm like, I didn't do it. That's all I got.
That's great. Yeah, thank you guys. And I would love to know what you would consider your greatest rock photography success and greatest fail.
Okay, so
Here.
okay, I've taken a picture of a lot of rocks. And I would have to say Lee Russell Canyon. If you saw the video on that, any agate that has a lot of definition with light and dark, as long as it has a lot of white in it, or not even a lot, just at least some white in it, it'll play with the camera very well. Yeah, polishing. If you take a picture of a polished rock, Turtle was right. It's really difficult. I have a little trick though. I don't polish my rocks. I use oil, and I put oil on the front, because if you get too much of a shine, you get every little dot. The camera little light, the red light, will reflect off of the rock, and I will never take another picture of a polished rock. That's bad. And then I very much agree with Ma. Too dark a rock. You got to put a lot of light on a dark rock. But then anything druzy too. Anything druzy, or like everybody else was saying, opal or fire agate. It's really hard to get a still shot of that.
For sure.
Yeah. We all like it just at once. Yes.
Yep.
I like your solution on polished rocks. Just don't.
Don't.
So yeah.
Yeah.
I wish I could.
Yeah.
There's no
take a
point of
picture
doing
before.
work.
Yeah. Well, yeah. You can't. It's better to take a video of the polished rock in sun, but then you have to get the angle just right so you don't have that sun glaring back onto the polish.
It's a struggle.
It is an absolute struggle. And so like let's start there. I think that's a great kind of jump off point. So the lighting, what you just mentioned, Julie, where either you've got a light box, like what's going on behind you is basically your light studio, right, Julie?
Yes.
And so let's just start with lighting on everybody. What kind of lighting do you like to use? Because you're obviously containing your light. You're doing an interior shot where you're controlling your temperature and how much of a flood and directional you have. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your setup there?
All right. I will bring you a little bit more center. This is on the crappy tripod, so bear with me.
Absolutely.
Okay. So
Whoa.
I have these two lights right here. Let me turn that around here. I have these two lights that I bought off of Amazon, and you can move them, so you can control that. And then down below, you can also control how dim you want them to go.
Awesome.
And so that'll control how much light you want on your rock. And this also goes lower or higher, and that also does a lot with the rock as well. Whether or not you need it depends on how big the rock is, what angle the rock sits on. But you never want direct light onto the rock, because that's just the glare. I always have them two lights, so it's even, what do you call it? Filter? Distribution. Thank you. And then that way you don't get any glare on any of the rock. But it's got to be flat.
Right. Whoops. Stop. Sorry. Isn't that pretty, guys?
It is so pretty.
But that's not what we're looking at right now. Sorry, Julie. And so the fact that you have kind of articulating lights where, and maybe even a stage where you can lower and uh heighten your subject is important for getting that like perfect sweet spot for the directionality and all that
Yeah.
glare and whatnot. Okay.
Yeah, and I also have like a little platform here. It's my little what do you call that?
It's a rotating.
It's
platform.
a rotating platform, and sometimes I'll stick books underneath it, depending on if I need to go higher or lower, so I don't break my back. And then I can also scoot it back or forward, depending on if I need it closer to the camera or further away. And then it's always good. I didn't like those light boxes because you need the background further away so that you don't get the light filtration on the back, so it looks like it's a negative drop. You have the rock floating.
Interesting. Okay. And so I like seeing that. And those of you who are watching at home and or in the chat, look at how tidy that is. That's like breakdownable and put togetherable pretty quick. You could just keep that stuff in a little tote or something, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we usually keep it up because I'm usually taking pictures of rocks all the time. But this room was a complete disaster about 20 minutes prior of going on. So very easy.
This is the same room we did the live sale in 2 days ago.
Right.
I figured we were maybe in a similar spot. And so yeah, I think that a lot of people are space challenged. So having something
this room
that
is space challenged.
Yeah, and so having something that you can break down and put together quickly so that like after your lapidary session or before a sale or whatever, you can start taking those sexy shots of your stuff, but it doesn't have to be something that stays that way forever.
Yeah, and this is just a table that we got at Costco, and you can raise it. It's
It's got 3 levels.
3 levels, so you can raise it however you want. And then I have my background that's ginormous, and so I can move the table wherever I want. The background stays up. I can change it whatever I want it to be. And then I just move this table for our Sunday night lives, to the other side. So we have this as the background. So it's a Lego.
It's versatile.
Yeah, modular stuff is so awesome to have for sure. Ryan, is your situation, is yours a changeable one, or do you have that set up all the time?
I have mine set up all the time, and I use a light box because then I can use the more for the sides for a larger, more diffused lighting as opposed to direct lighting. So you can kind of see that the lights on the left and the right in the picture there are actually shining through the white fabric. And so that's one of the things in photography. If you hear anybody call getting a large light source, that's what they mean by putting something either through a diffuser or something. And it's the same, like if you're outside, even though, shooting the sun through the clouds versus, when the sun is directly out can affect. And you see, I also add the light on the top to point down at the subject, and I'll rotate that depending on the effect I'm trying to get or the type of rock. So you're asking about being able to show a little bit of the shine on it. Maybe trying to with the setup. Maybe the edges. You try to get a little of that shine on there.
Yeah, I'm gonna
and
show
the
that
polish.
picture next. I
Yeah.
think. I think I might be able to, but really quick, we have to take a little intermission for this. Keys
Whoa,
to
oh,
yeah, I know. Keys to two good photos. Temperature 5K to 6K, softened with a diffuser. So bing, bing, bing on that for Ryan. Position light to reduced shadows. Yes'm. Camera and rock stationary, position rock to capture best features, manual capture or manual camera mode, high f-stop, low ISO, which is something that some people would have to do some research on as far as how to go about doing manual camera. But I think that that's a really cool thing to suggest. And adjust shutter speed as appropriate. And before we go on, I have to ring the bell. And I'm hiding behind the the big pink thing here because that was very vigorous. I don't know if you guys even wanted to see that because I almost like knocked my teeth out with the bell. Thank you so much, Mr. Turtle Montana. That is so generous of you. We really, really appreciate that support. It's going to help all of the photos tonight be better. I'm just telling you this right now. Absolutely, without a doubt. Every single one of the photos is going to be enhanced by a large degree. And so we're gonna have to when you get back, Mr. Turtle Montana, we'd love to see what you've got going on as far as pictures. When you submitted your January contest submission, the pictures were very bright and nice. It was alluring just to look at your project, not just because the project was very beautiful, but that's another notch up is if you can make that rock look as good as it does before your eyes in the picture. And I think that you did that well. It was very nice looking. And don't all agree with me at once. So moving
yes,
on.
it was. I loved it.
Cue applause. Where's the applause sign? Thank you. Yeah, Brian, that's your job. And so we've got 3 pictures here. Tell us a little something about this, Ryan.
And just quick before I do that, and just to add on to what Turtle was saying, is the high f-stop. That is your depth of field, and that is helping more of your subject stay in. But the other thing that I like to do when I'm using my, especially my SLR, I have a photo gray backdrop that I can take a picture in the current lighting, and then tell the camera to auto correct that and say, this is a gray color.
Yeah.
So when I go to photograph my subject, it can do the same manipulations to that photo as it had to do with the gray, and so that kind of helps with a little bit of the coloring in your photos as well, if you're wanting to really get into the deep dive. But
Oh, I love it. Yeah.
for the pictures that I'm showing here, you can see the 2 on the left and the middle. We're just using the ambient light in the room, and I was just changing the camera angle on my phone, and you can see in one case, the red was on the kind of the lower right, and I moved the phone just a little bit, and you can see the red move to the middle. But then I added the 2 lights on the side, and I think also on the top, and you can kind of see how that affected the ability for the camera to kind of see through that chalcedony layer.
It's amazing.
Yes.
It's so night
Yeah.
and day.
Yep.
Yeah, that looks great.
And so as far as this is concerned, we're seeing the angle change. And really quick, Rufo, I'm so sorry about your dog. That's just the worst. I hope that you are able to get the doggy feeling better, and not a fun cleanup, but seriously, I hope that your evening goes better from here on out. Um, but as far as this line of pictures, I think this is perfect. One of the best things that we have at our disposal, having the cameras that we do, be it in your phone or the video cameras, your GoPro, whatever, is that it's digital. And if you've got a big fat card or a few of them, take as many pictures as you possibly can, because you're going to probably hit a sweet one. If you keep on changing that angle or you keep on changing that lighting, you'll find something that's getting closer. And if you keep track of that, like engineering, then you might be able to hit some sweet spots again and again and again, right?
Yeah, and the other thing that I would add to that is in video mode, you can be actually moving the lights and see how it affects the stone, and then you can switch over to photo mode if you want stills, um, and so you're getting that feedback from the video right away, as opposed to having I move this one a little bit, take a picture. What does it look like?
Yeah, and it just depending on your camera work, or if you've got a still subject like a stone, rocks are great because they
Mhm.
pose so good, right? And
There is at
so,
least that.
what's that, Ma?
I said there is at least that. It's not moving on you. So yeah, that does help.
And Eric is like, you guys aren't using film? Eric in the dark room slaving away while we're doing the Friday Night Live. The red light is on. So as far as taking video, a lot of times I do take video, and then in some of the different editing studios, like in Wondershare, you've got snapshot mode. And so if you see what you like, then you just hit a snapshot on it, and you've got a still. And I know most phones have that as well, where you can just snapshot out of
Yep.
your footage. And so that can be one way to get some good captures if you're just trying to figure it out.
Hmm.
Oh yeah.
For sure.
And so if you are, if you're a beginning channel, like you're starting your video exploits and that sort of thing, playing with the light box, or take it outside, or try a different room, try it with the lights off, try it with the lights on, set up a few different setups, kind of like what Julie has over there, and what we showed that Ryan has, to see, like what effects can I come up with? What do I like? Do you guys have your rock as a comparison to the picture, so that you can kind of see like the verisimilitude? Do you try to get it as close to realistic as possible?
Um,
Yeah.
I I took from context what that big word was that you meant, but yes, I try to look at the the rock since it's in there, and so you do get a general feel of what I'm looking on the screen, because you also have to, knowing like in my phone, I might have it set to a little darker because it's better on my eyes for the other, but then that causes issues with the photography, because when I may move it to somewhere else, it may actually be brighter than what I was originally thinking, because my camera display is set at a different brightness level. It's not full. It's not showing full bright, so you kind of have to consider, what you're looking at there as well.
Right. Yeah, and so like there's what it really looks like, and then what does it really look like?
You okay over there, Karen?
Does she have a dog too?
I think maybe she got unplugged. Oh
Uh,
yeah. Oh,
Uh-oh.
Still can't hear you.
Can't hear you, Karen.
Can't hear you, Karen. How long will it take her to figure it out?
Yay!
Sorry. First it came unplugged and then it like self-muted me. So what does it really look like? And what do I really sound like? We don't know. But you keep on changing the light where you are, under contrived light or under diffuse light or under the natural light, and it changes what the rock looks like. So what is real?
And
Yeah,
that's where
that's
I do
fair.
like and I kind of prefer taking especially if I'm doing the other at night, because then I also turn off the light in the room and only go with the studio lighting, to be able to more fully control the lights too. Because when I was taking those pictures earlier, I had, the daylight outside coming through the window. Some of them I had the room light on, and then I got the studio lights, and they're all different brightnesses and different colors, and that can really throw off your camera as well. So you kind of want to go about as simple as you can with the lighting.
Yeah. And welcome in Lesby Rockin'. How many of you guys have been, you've got either your camera or your phone situated, and actually it just happened with my the camera on my computer. You've got like, you're looking at the thing, it looks good, and then for like some reason, a cloud goes over the sun, or you shift over your own light somehow, and the whole thing turns a different color. Like it went
Yeah.
from really tones to like cold tones, and you're like, I liked it the other way. Like what just happened? And so it's interesting to see in real time how your camera's eye selects out and decides, oh, it's going to be warmer or colder tint or whatever. Like it's
Or
Oh yeah.
or just going into a shadow. Trying to use your phone and the lights behind you,
Mhm.
and then you try to zoom in and get close, and then all of a sudden you go from whatever light there was to being in shadow.
Yeah, and so going back to that, indoor and outdoor light, like how different is that? And that's the bulb that you're seeing in the reflection on the first picture, that is the one that I have on my cab machine. And it's supposed to be like, just as white light as possible, but you can see how much warmer the tones are out of the whole entire room lighting. However, that's reflecting off of this particular stone is being expressed by the camera's eye. And then you move outside, and I'm on actually a cloudy day, and so it is a little bit cooler a temperature of light, but that's outdoor light, and we see a different spectrum in the stone.
It's crazy different.
And yes, Caleb, you can, but yeah, in my shed, I have two different LED lights. My shed lights themselves uh, are the different machine shop bulb, and then sometimes I can get the light coming from outside, so that's even worse sometimes when I'm trying to do it in the shed at the cabbing machine in the middle of the day. So there's and that can be really tough.
Right. And so those of us who want instant grat on our stone, photography, we actually take the picture. My hand is wet, but that stone is dry. Like as
Uh-huh.
soon as it comes off of the cerium oxide wheel, and I wipe it against my sweatshirt and I take a picture because I'm so excited, right? That's
Yeah.
why we take it by the cab machine light. um
Makes
but then going outside and trying to get, I like natural light the most to take my pictures from. And I think we have a preference from Julie. She's showing her preference with her studio there. And so I would love to hear from you guys. Do you have a preference, or do you just go to the light that seems the best?
Sometimes It depends. Well, with blues and purples, it's really hard. Because even if I do my white background, it still looks even darker than it should be. So I don't know. I do like natural light better, but for the rock reveal, I just like all black. So for the rock reveal, I have a preference of just, nothing but blackness except for the rock. I just want you to focus on the rock. But there have been times where I can't get the color right. And so I'm just like, you know what? We're going outside. The Pecos Diamonds. Pecos Diamonds we had to do outside. Number one, because they were kind of druzy. And number two, the colors were not coming out. Like, even though it's one color, it was I can't explain it unless you actually saw it. But they were so ugly inside. I tried during the day. I tried under these lights. Nothing was working. I think I spent 3 days on trying to get the pictures right, and it was not working. So I said, fine, we're just going to go outside and take the pictures because, and it wouldn't even do it justice with just pictures. I had to do video.
Right.
Yeah, I still, when I'm outside, I also then, to give the flexibility to be able to use the gray card too, so it helps in the photo editing to be able to correct it as well. And I guess just for those that don't know, like different lights like fluorescence and the other, they don't put out a consistent light. And so almost using too fast of a shutter speed can really throw off your colors, because if it hasn't been able to go through a full cycle, you may only get the colors from one, and your cameras originally may have interpreted colors differently. So you have to be careful with any light that isn't a consistent color.
Yeah, I've been playing with my manual settings on my camera, and I mean, I've never taken a photography class in my life, but I still can't get it. I was manually doing everything, and I still could not get it.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know.
I
don't understand my camera.
What's that, Ma?
Oh, I don't even mess with any, like, I take pictures I just use my iPad, and I just get the lighting as good as I can, which I use a white background, and I just use a very simple light, and it's a light that you can change the tone, like the color tone of, or the brightness of it, just like Julie has. It's just a smaller version. But I just keep it as simple as I can, and I just mess with it a little bit in the very limited editing software that comes on the iPad, and I'm generally able to get it to look how I see it with my eye. There's times I struggle, but it's like if I try to adjust this manually and that, I get too overwhelmed, and I can't get it to look close enough to what it looks like by eye. It's like I kind of have figured out, I let them do the hard work, and then I just tweak it after.
Yeah.
But I'm no pro, that's for sure.
Thank you for that explanation, both of you, because I know that other people are arm wrestling their devices and trying to figure out, like, and the fact that you finally had to go outside, and you know what, I gotta ditch my setup because this just isn't working, and staying flexible and not feeling like, if you took the same setup and shot 10 different rocks, you might be happy with 3 of the outcomes. it just, you have to change for each kind of rock for sure. And I just wanted to really quickly touch upon talking about natural sunlight. Again, I'm all about it, but diffuse sun, that's something you kind of learn about in photography school if you've ever gone, you know, like having diffuse is nice. And then also I like this here, natural light, even affected by seasonal sunlight. Fall and spring is best for blind squirrel rocks over there. And I think that that was really interesting because there's something that like some photographers known as like the golden hour also.
Morning and
Yeah,
evening. Yep.
you be there with me on that one, Ryan. And then also here we experienced during the wintertime kind of a longer golden hour because the sun is more on the horizon for a longer period of time during the winter, and I love it because it's just the coolest lighting. And so a lot of times that's when I like to take my pictures as well, because I do like to take them outside. And then we were just kind of burgeoning onto the part of the conversation, I think, that goes into that stuff that's directional, like labradorite, fire obsidian, something with schiller. So how do you guys tackle that, Ryan?
You don't.
Well,
Just
yeah.
kidding.
Let's say I kind of got lucky on a few of the labradorite shots that I did, and I think actually most of those came at the cabbing machine. But you definitely, that one, you would have to do a little different setup because of the directional light, and I would assume with the lighting setup I would probably have to move the lights a little bit more directly at it, as opposed to at the oblique angles. I tried to take a picture of the fire obsidian cab that I got from Kyle and had zero luck.
Like at all.
At all.
Okay, how many people have just like scrapped the whole thing? We just don't take pictures of lights or of rock.
I could see it flash every, but then you also have to remember, the camera on your phone is off to one side, so you kind of have to try to move it around, and then on top of that, and it was tough. I gave up.
Here's an interesting question from Fem. Should I take multiple images at different depths and stack them? You sure could. If you've got the stacking ability, that could really, really help with that depth of field thing. And then also one of the things that maybe Mug can talk about a little bit here is when we have inclusions, features, as Allison says, in our rocks, like the rutile, taking pictures of that is going to be a certain challenge. And if you had a stacker, then you could get more focus on more of the rutile. So how do you go about it, Ma?
I take several pictures with the light hitting different parts of the rutile within the rock. It's really that and doing it in a video so that you can really see the depth of it is like you cannot do it with one picture, that's for sure. At least I can't. And I don't have stacking anything software. I don't have that kind of setup. But yeah, it does present a challenge because so much of it is going to be in different layers of the rock. So I just take bunches of pictures and then pick the ones that kind of show the best bits of it. At least I try.
Here are a couple examples of some of your rutilated. This is one necklace in a couple different shots. Do you want to tell us a little bit about your setup here?
Oh yeah, that's a white piece of cardstock and my little dinky LED cheap Amazon special light and my iPad.
I love this. I love low tech. Thank you. Thank you.
If I don't keep it simple, I'll just confuse the crap out of myself and I won't get anything done. So yeah.
Yeah. Well, we are like in being professional, you want to be professional at everything, but you don't want this part of it to take away from the thing that you're actually doing, which is the lapidary and the, the jewelry making,
Right.
Yeah. But we still want to be professional about our approach. And so I like very much that you can take, cardstock, which you can get just darn near
Anyway,
anywhere in different
yeah.
colors, and create your backgrounds with success. I think it's definitely about a lot of trial and error. Like, did it take you a while to get to where you're at right now?
Yeah. I mean, and the thing with me is I do not like simplicity. I overdo everything. And so like I want to make a pile of look at all these shiny rocks and put it around it, and that was like that's my
Right.
first that's my
Put your
first
put your
go-to.
cab put your cab on a slab and
Yes, exactly. Like, I'm
The
very much
cat's in the picture.
more is more kind of person, but simplifying it to where you're really just focusing on what you want to be looking at. Like I had to just give into it because it's where I got the best success at what I was actually trying to put across. So I just had to like change personalities a little bit and go for the minimal thing, and it worked. But it was a struggle, like in my head, to get there.
I think that that's one of the most alluring things about Julie's rock.
Yeah,
Yeah, the sections of the videos where it's the rock
rocky.
gallery, it's
Mhm.
it's museum
It's
worthy
beautiful.
looking photography. And I think it is that isolation where that's all that you're supposed to be looking at. And
Yeah.
how do we command your attention that way with photography? Is that
Sorry, I'm
what
reading
you think?
Jack's
I'm
comments.
sorry. What's that, Ma?
I was just reading Jahik's comment and laughing.
Oh, right on. Yeah. So, how do you go about getting that sexy shot, Julie?
It
You have to
Gosh.
show 'em.
it takes me probably about a day to 2 days, probably 20 hours of work
Oh,
to get
geez.
that perfect shot for every single rock.
Right, but you get it though. You're very successful at it, I will say.
It's hard, and let me tell you, it's not easy. And I don't have a professional camera. Like I have what I take pictures on is a Sony ZF what is it? 1.
Mhm.
And so, I mean, it's a good camera, but it's not like the best camera, and it is a struggle. It is a struggle. And yeah, I have thrown lights. I've thrown rocks. I don't have like a bad temper, but when it comes rock reveal time in my house, everybody watches out. Everybody watches out because
Like, oh
yeah,
crap, just take pictures. Hi.
yeah. Here's
Yeah, I'm considering grabbing our trailer when she's doing rock reveals and just sleeping out in it in the front yard.
hey, Brian, do you guys have a professional drywaller and a painter in your family that comes in?
He's like, this guy.
that's his job.
Yeah, see, that's why this is Julie's conversation with y'all, because I'm just from the neck down. That's all I'm good for.
He's the drywaller.
So yeah, if you need something lifted, something moved, something fixed, I'm probably the right guy. If you need a picture taken, no. I have more pictures of the inside of my pocket than anything else.
Oh, yeah. I was
Yeah.
waiting for that one to come up. Actually, Brian, you stole my answer to my best shots and worst shots. Like that's the pictures of my pocket are my worst shots for sure. We have this in common. I'll go home thinking that I got like just tons of footage from the beach. I'm so stoked. Like it was such a beautiful day. And I was like on the wrong mode. Like I was like filming while I was in my pocket and then stopping it while I was like,
Oh, I've done that so many times.
That's awesome.
yeah, I'm
Yeah,
there with
I'll
you,
find
man.
something pretty amazing, you know. And Julia like, well, take a picture of it. I'm like, nope, come on over.
Yeah, you can't saddle me with that responsibility.
Not gonna happen.
I was
That's great.
just today we've been working on this one rock because it was so calcified and crusted over.
You talking about the blue?
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
That when we took it out, and let me raise this up a bit. When we took it out, you couldn't see what it looked like. And so we tried power washing it. We tried hitting it with a textile gun. So pretty soon I'm just like, I'm done with this. So we've dropped it in acid for like days. It's been soaking in acid for days. And then even after that, we still had to go hit it with the textile gun. We finally got it clean. It's clean. And today's been one of our coldest days with horrible winds, chilly winds for Arizona. I know there's snow in other places.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's
I know.
relative. It's relative.
It's relative. Okay. And so I'm going out there and I'm like, I'm going to get this shot. It was sunny for a moment. You know, I'm going out there. There's 25, 30 mile an hour winds. It's freezing cold. This rock is wet. My fingers are numb. And I'm like, I'm going to get this in one shot. And I'm filming this rock. And I come back. I recorded to the outside. And I recorded coming back into the garage.
Oh yeah.
Nothing with the rock.
Nothing, no rock.
I have to go out there and do it again.
He has a black eye now.
I want to see everybody's gag reels on this. Like, who wants to see like a couple hours of my pocket? Because I mean, different times of day at different like locations, and different like sunshine flowing through the mesh of the pocket. I mean, it's awesome. You can hear different conversations going on. Yeah, it's.
Oh yeah.
I want to see everybody's gag reels.
Yeah, I think I even swore. I'm not sure.
Oh, you have. Yeah.
Yeah. It was just, I was so mad. So I had to go out and do it all over again. So.
Oh yeah. And I hear you. It was, my feet were crunching on ice when I was trying to take some of the pictures the last couple of days. Like and I'm even not supposed to complain too much as opposed to say Ryan or Theo's current weather conditions. Yeah. So Val has just a thought. Anyone ever use printer scanner, drop cloth over scanner and print? I used to do artistic stuff with rocks in a nice bowl with artistic success. Has anybody tried that?
I have.
Yeah.
I've done that with I've done it with artwork. If it's flat, you put it on the scanner, it'll get you a really good place to start with. Where you're not getting as much of you're not getting a glare that way. I've done it. I used to put my cat on a scanner and scan it.
That sounds like a good song name. Like Cat on a Scanner.
I haven't tipped any rocks. I can say that I have not thought of that. And it'd be interesting to see what it looks like because you can get kind of cool effects that way.
Yeah, I like that. Thank you, Val. And it looks like Mr. Turtle Montana offers that Prospector Paul uses the scanner to take photos, and they turn out great. Fantastic. And you can take good pictures with almost any camera, says Rocks Off-Road, because in the end, the lens optics is 98% of how the pic turns out. And so I'm glad. Okay, Ryan was writhing during that last part. So Ryan, tell us why.
Yeah, pretty much lens and if you don't have the right lighting and the right things, having the optics isn't going to make a great picture.
It all depends, I guess, on how much you're doing post-production. Like if you're using Photoshop, I think it depends on what you're trying to do with your photos too. Because if you're really into photo manipulation and the digital side of all of it, that's very true because you can adjust everything. And as long as it's there digitally, it can be manipulated.
I would have to say, you remember the pictures of the two on the left and the one on the right. You can't fix that in post, no matter what.
Sure. I mean, I wasn't saying
you have. So
That is, I like that point. James Rich just said most people use their phone, I think, which I'm really happy that actually Julie told us what she was using for her photography. Thank you so much for sharing that with everybody, because I know a lot of people that are either lurking or watching this after this happens are interested because they are trying to capture this, this rock entity, and knowing what tools people are using is important. I use a phone. I think I only have the Galaxy 20 Run right now. I'm about to upgrade. What do you use, Ryan?
I use a combination. I had the ones that you showed earlier. Those were all taken from my phone. I also use my Canon SLR, a 5D Mark II with a 100 millimeter macro lens in here for some of them. And I get various successes with both of them.
Awesome. Thank you. And Ma, what are you using?
iPad.
iPad. That's right. I think that you mentioned that also.
Yeah.
And yeah, I know that some of the folks that are video people like to use a GoPro or something like that. What's interesting about that is you've got wide angle,
Right.
and so it can be very difficult to do a whole lot of capturing with that. And so you do need to, if you're hunting with a GoPro, then you might have to do some still shots like Julie does for some exhibit at the end, because you're probably not going to get very good shots of the stones themselves, because they will be distorted one way or another with
Right.
that big wide angle. And Jahik is saying, if you use your phone, look up what features your model has. There's so much you can do with the newer models. And actually, he did post me a comment earlier today in a message that not only is there the like tutorials that you can take on your phone, like for your phone rather, how to maximize the photography from whatever device you have. So look to see what is specific to your device and watch the suggestions for the camera use on that, either from the maker, or there's people online that have done things like on YouTube that you can watch, so you can educate yourself, like to the extent of all the different tricks that you can do with your item. And then also he was recommending, as far as the frame rate that you are taking, if you're doing videos, a lot of times you can either select your frame rate or it'll select the frame rate for you. You want to select a high frame rate if you've got a lot of memory, because obviously that's going to enhance your video, and then you're going to even have better still shots if you take the stills from your video, or if you are making a video for YouTube, you're going to have a richer all over look if you're going at, say, 60 as opposed to 30. And so I thought that that was really good stuff that Jahik had to share. Thank you, dude. And so as far as those are our tools that we're using, now once you get it in the can, how much editing are you doing? I'll start with Ma.
Just a little. I'll usually adjust the warmth a little bit, and I'll sometimes adjust the definition, and that's it. And cropping. I do
All
very
right,
little.
so it's very much straight out of the camera, as they say. And I like when I'm selling something, a lot of times I will take some enhanced shots, but then I'll at least include one straight out of the camera shot, and I'll say so. Like, this is what it looked like straight out of the camera. I'm trying to do the enhancements to show you what the color really looks like. So these are corrected. But if you want to see, this is what the camera saw, just so
Right.
that like there's some kind of fidelity going both ways. And Rocks Off Road wants to say, so I want to be clear on Ryan's statement, please. So Ryan, you don't believe that the lenses make any difference on the quality of the end result, quote, or, in parentheses, a picture. And so do you want to address that?
Oh, not at all. I mean, because I've used bad lenses and I've used better ones. It was the statement that it was 98% of the of a good thing is just based on the optics. There's, if you have bad lighting, I can have the best lens and not get a good picture. Good lighting, I can use a mediocre lens and get a good picture. It's kind of the combination of everything. Your camera, what are you using? So,
I like that answer. And so, it's a balance. It's a
hmm
balancing act. A lot of this for all the things that you can get right. And hopefully there's things that just aren't going wrong that you can't fix. And
yeah,
so, we kind of have like a 3-point plan where you've got the tool, and then you've got the elements surrounding the tool, and that's mostly lighting,
hmm
where and backdrop. Actually, Ryan was talking a little bit about what you were backing your uh your stone with, or whatever. He showed me 2 pictures of a um a background that was taken with different lighting, actually, and it changed the color of the background, which
yeah,
obviously is going to change the color of your subject. And then if your camera's eye is making those differentiations, then that too, like, it's going to be like this circuit of these 3 things: your tool and your elements, and your lighting, all interacting with each other. And then there's like the editing stage, and so
hmm
there's a lot going on there.
yeah. And I guess in my editing, I've as I've gotten there, I've become more basic on my editing, but I've also am finding out, for example, when I use my Adobe Bridge, it does not do any of the um, profile corrections that my camera does. But if I use Canon's software, it knows the picture profile, the auto adjusting, like so when I was taking the gray cards. So even knowing how your software works,
Yeah.
because you don't want to assume, that, hey, I made all these adjustments in my camera. Why don't I see them on the screen? It's because some of them, like Adobe, just ignore everything else. It ignores what you did in your camera, and you're starting just from the raw. So,
Yeah, I think that that's a really super duper good point, because depending on what program you're using, you might have to get to start over again.
yeah.
That is so true. And Blind Squirrel Rocks had a quick question for everybody. Does anybody use various attachments for phone cameras, like macro lenses?
I will occasionally. If there's something really beautiful, like a really beautiful detail, I'll get a really good close up of it. Um, but I don't do it with everything. With some stuff, it's just not going to really matter. Like if I'm making something with clear quartz, like getting a close up shot of that isn't going to do anybody good. But yeah, if it's like a beautiful agate and I want to capture one really beautiful little swirly part of it or something, I'll go in there with my little clip on lens. That can be a fun thing to add. Like if I'm doing stuff on, I put a lot of my stuff on Etsy, and it's fun to just have some extra pictures you can throw in there to show people some of the details.
Mhm. And one thing that Jahik mentioned about knowing like your phone and the features. I mean, even the basic knowing where you can touch and hold your screen and get a either exposure lock or a focus lock, because then if you have it here, you can actually move your phone in and out a little. Like if you're having trouble with it focusing on the area that you want, sometimes you can use that focus lock and then move where your move your phone, or you move the rock and get the focus that you want.
I,
and and,
I'm
and honestly, I didn't know that until I was seeing somebody doing it. So
Yeah, my phone's like that, and I'm going to admit right this second that I've been holding the phone with one hand, the rock with the other, and actually manipulating that with my nose. And so it can be done, and it works. So it's worth doing. And Cynthia, I'm really happy to hear that about your Samsung, because that's the one I'm probably gonna get. And I she's not using her Nikon hardly anymore. And so I think this is interesting as far as, again, tools. So Julie and Ryan, do you guys use any extras, like macros or anything like that? Toys?
I didn't know there were extras.
Okay.
I do not.
Can she throw it?
I throw it.
Right. I'm sorry, Ryan.
Oh no, I don't on my phone, but I have used extensions and whatever for macro photography. Like since I don't have a microscope, I have gone in and used the extensions and the tubes. And for those that don't know that, I won't get into that, but to be able to actually get even closer and then the macro that the camera allows. So
Awesome. And brand new American, thank you for coming in. Lesby Rockin' is saying, Mom, my tourmaline bracelet was spot on to what it looks like in person. I wore it again today. So congrats on for that for both of you. So it's always fun to hear that, when somebody gets something, like either it's exactly what they thought it was going to be or it's better.
Right. And
Yeah.
I try, like you don't want it looking super flashy and awesome in a picture, and then they get it in their hand and they're like,
yeah,
and so I'm just always trying to, any tweaks I'm ever doing is because I want it to look as much like it does to my eye in the picture as it can.
yeah, you can definitely slide that saturation bar too far to the right.
I don't.
Well,
Yeah, I don't even
and the saturation, it's obvious,
Yeah.
especially if you've got like a flesh part in like just any given flesh part. My goodness, like I don't know how many other things than fingers would appear, but like it'll definitely give you a weird tinge to your skin. So if you see, say, like an opal or something like that, and the skin looks like, wow, why is that skin so pink or whatever, that they just maxed on the saturation.
Yeah, I don't even touch saturation because of that.
Yep.
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll play with all the different tweaks, holding the cab on one hand and then playing with the different modes until it matches up, because so often you do get something that gets way yellowed out or grayed down, or so I'm playing with the tint and the tone, the warmth and the cold. I'll try to bring it back because my phone and I don't always agree.
Yeah.
Right.
One that I do use on the, especially if I don't have a stone that has a wide range, is the black level. Because you see, like in my background, if I know I'm overdoing it and I know my background is black, I can at least, slide that over and, what Julie is trying to do with the background very far away, not getting light on, so it's actually on black. You can sometimes manipulate that in editing by sliding and saying, hey, this is really supposed to be black. Don't really affect anything else in my editing, but I want black to be black.
Yeah. Yeah. And so, yeah, achieving that's great. Having certain sort of visual milestones or whatever that you need to adhere to, and then kind of going from there is actually a really good tip. And then Tim Hampton, thank you so much. I take somewhere between 500 and 5,000 pictures a week. I use anywhere from my Galaxy 22 Ultra to my $7K camera and lens, which would be so nice to have. The best advice, drool, I can give you is to shoot in manual and learn about light, which I think is just golden to suggest. And if you look at his picture in his profile, he's like holding great big looks like live edge wood panels or something. And yeah. So, Tim, thank you for sharing. Welcome in. Looks like you're up to some really good business there. You got some nice wood going on right there. And thanks for the suggestion. And so let's see. I
Sure,
sent on
sure,
Discord
Julie.
my first attempt at opal picture, but it was like you said, golden hour, but too late. All right. Oh, on Discord. Okay. So I can probably and go and fetch that. Kurt's in the house. Allison is in the house. She has also used her lips to zoom. Mwah. Mwah. Or Let's Be Rockin' is just talking about pinching the rock, which is actually the Julie method.
That's what I did. Pinch the rock.
Yeah. And so Ryan, do you do post edit from the shot? And if so, what studio do you like to use?
I have historically, since I have the subscription, I've been using Adobe Bridge because it also allows you to do the, picking out which of the photos you want. But I'm gonna probably start using the Canon software a little bit more, so I can use the in the camera profiles a little bit more. But otherwise, for my phone, every so often I'll go in there and manipulate it just with the iPhone edit. But I generally try not to, I don't do that too much either. I used to do a lot of photo editing back with the other, but not so much anymore.
Gotcha. All right. And we're looking at right now is the ring that Julie sent on the Discord. And so she was talking about having the first attempt at opal. And yeah, I can see like it's not quite golden hour. I do feel some evening on this picture. And so do
It
you
almost looks black and white.
yeah, I like that actually. If you
Yeah.
could just boost this is one where I probably would have boosted the light and the contrast and then boosted the saturation. And you probably would have had something here. What do you think, rest of the panel here? What would you do?
Same.
Yeah, that's it. If it's not color, depending, since it's an opal and color is one of those. If it is black and white, then I might have kept it with the opal. And just from a technique wise, here, if you're going to be doing a little more with this, don't put your subject right in the middle. Try to move it off to one side or the other. But I mean,
I was going to say I really
that's
like
just
the
more style.
Yeah, this second one with the ice in it, or
Yep.
the snow,
Cool.
like that's pretty awesome.
Yeah, I
And
like
yeah,
that one.
yeah, I would have, like I said, this could be salvaged. You could like boost the saturation to get your opal and not have it look too contrived because the rest of it is so black and white that it wouldn't be cheating. Bring it back to the opal and then just mess with the contrast as far as what's going on with the rest of the picture. I think this is actually pretty awesome.
It's a beautiful ring.
It is.
And the ring is outstanding. Like,
Yeah, I saw
yeah,
on
I love it.
On Instagram she posted, I think this is the one that she had done where she carved it in wax and then this was the final result. It's beautiful.
Yeah, awesome work. So thank you for sharing that, Julie. And so yeah, maybe just doing some manipulation in a studio. And so who here, like, do you guys like to use the onboard stuff like on your phone? Do you use a film editor? Do you use Photoshop? What do you guys like to use?
I use Filmora, Wondershare, Filmora, however
Whatever it calls itself
whatever
today.
they call itself. Yeah.
Right. I actually so do you guys have the tendency to just have it a lot of the programs will adjust themselves. Like they have like a, do you want us to fix this for you? And there's that setting. Or you can go in, you can manually change all of the settings. Like they have a really nice array of the different things that you can mess with to make your picture either look a little bit more like it was or more appealing. But then also you can do presets in Filmora where you're like, okay, this day was this kind of drab and it looked very monochrome, like, you know, what we were just looking at. And so you can set it and then you can reuse that preset like on every picture or every frame of film that you took that day. Do you guys use that?
I've used it once or twice, but my rocks tend to be very different from one time to the next, you know.
Yeah.
So I can't use that all the time, but I do have them all preset. If I ever like if I go back to Lee Russell, you know, I'll use that one. But honestly, I don't even think I had to edit Lee Russell. The only thing I really do is just I darken the I use the black and I darken that just in case you see any wrinkles or anything in the background.
Yep.
That's basically the only thing I do. And I make sure that that rock looks exactly like what I see on screen.
Nice.
So you want to know a secret though?
Let's have a secret.
How I used to edit? This is really dumb because I was very new to this. I would take the picture of the rock and I would take a picture with my iPhone. And I did that for, I think, the whole first season and half of the second season. But so I took the pictures with my phone and I didn't like how the background turned out. So I would I didn't know that you could take the rock out of the picture.
Oh yeah.
So I would take the black and I would color everything black on every single rock.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. So
and then you found the lasso, you know.
yeah, and then I figured it out. But
It was another dangerous time to be living here.
I mean, I would zoom in. I would get every tiny little nook and cranny, and then my knuckle would hit it, and it would all be gone. Oh, I was so mad. Oh, and then I'd have to do it all over again. I did that with every single rock. I would blacken the whole thing, even if it was just a tad bit gray. I would just blacken the whole thing, and then I would blend it all into the front, so you couldn't even see it. And so I don't know. I'll have to go back and see if I could if I can pick out any mistakes or whatever. But yeah, that was rough, man.
Yeah. Big learning curves here, but we've all been through them, I'm sure, you know, like just asinine things that we've tried. So any tips on UV lighting, guys? Blind Squirrel Rocks would love to know. Oh, hi, you're full screen. Look at you. Oh, hi there. Sorry.
Is that me?
Yeah, I don't. I myself, I don't do UV, so I really don't have anything on there. I know if we were on the infrared side of the thing, which you're not, a lot of cameras block that. But I don't know what happens with UV filters or what happens with UV on the sensors, whether there's certain manufacturers limit it or not.
You know what I did with that sensor? I covered it up with a paper.
Hey, whatever works, man. That's a low-tech solution.
Uh-huh.
It's
Poke
not
its
pretty,
eye
but
out.
it's functional.
Yeah.
Pretty much one of our mottos.
Yeah, viva la low tech. Definitely. A lot of you all out there, we're catching up with you. So back on what it is that we're using. A lot of you like the Lightroom and Photoshop. Obviously, the programs that come with the tools that you are using. A lot of onboard is really quite advanced now. Like what you have on board your phone, both in like its camera ability and the editing tool, is better than what we had on like whole computers like 5 years ago. I'm
Right?
so amazed at how quickly this has ascended. Kurt's in the house. Oh, and Theo's in the house. Hello, Theo. And Theo has an announcement too. I use the free version app of Photoshop Express for photos. Yeah, Photoshop Express is awesome. And for videos, I use the yearly subscription for the InShot video editor and thumbnails. And so there's there's an array. There's the InShot. There is the Wondershare. There is DaVinci. There's several of them out there, and if you don't like one, you might like the other better. And so it kind of, I think they fit like jeans. Like some people don't like some of them, and then it's like the absolute best thing to another person.
Right.
So playing the field isn't a bad idea. You might hate the first one that you try, and then you get better as you go along. And Theo is saying, I use GIMP for photos and Filmora for video, but we're making the swap to DaVinci soon. And I remember you talking about that. I would love to pick your brain more as to exactly why. I know that there are glitches in Filmora, but it's so darn easy to use that I'm not entirely sure I want to learn something all over again. But if it's super extra double rad, like is super duper, then I might be pliable to the idea. I might come to the DaVinci dark side if it made enough sense.
Yeah, I definitely had some learning on the DaVinci. That's what I use
Oh,
if I do editing on the video side. That's what I've been using. But man, is it not intuitive? Especially transitions and
that's what I heard.
doing things like that. So
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been
Julie.
not happy. I've been not happy with Filmora lately because what was it? 2 months ago? It lost all my footage. It was all it looked like all green screen. You could hear everything, and I was up until like 4 o'clock in the morning with customer service trying to get my video back, and it was a no-go. So I had to redo everything. I was so mad.
All the editing.
Oh, all the editing gone. Poof.
Yeah, they have had some glitches that have been pretty serious. They've lost some of my stuff in the past too. And I don't know, for that, like starting a whole video over again usually doesn't happen for me. Like, okay, well, I'm moving on to the next one because they take so much time to do in the first place that it's just a big investment. And so there's that. But like I said, it is so easy to use that program. I can practically do that in my sleep. Like it's just drop, drag, metal. I love how many different, you can just stack it like 20 high with like all sorts of different things going on. So anyways, I love it. But if DaVinci is better, change my mind, because I'll do it. It's just money spent one way or another. Yeah, gotta do it. And so Val is using Pixelator Windows 8, or she misses it. Where did it go? I guess Windows 8 went, and so therefore that did too. Like if I read that carefully, I'll know that. And so, hey, Ma, get out of my brain. And so Google Pixel 8, frustratingly, a better camera for pictures than the actual Canon. I know, I'm hearing that. Interesting. And let's see. Kurt has, for UV lighting and photos, use a tripod, then hold the UV light just slightly above the specimen. So the beam isn't on the specimen. The outer light will give it just enough light to fluoresce on the stone. Thank you for that. That's how I do it. That's how I try to do it when I'm using the microscope and UV at the same time, so that it doesn't, just glare so brightly on the things that are being illuminated by the UV that it just like totally messes up the way that the camera's trying to look at it. And we're catching up on your chat, you guys. Fantastic bunch of comments going on here. Tomcat Josh, thank you so much for coming. Going to bed sad, lonely day for this guy. Well, we're all here to happy Valentine's Day, you. Happy Valentine's Day, Tomcat Josh and all. Cheers to you. I hope that nobody is too lonely. Like, cuddle your kittens and your doggies if you have them and all that. And Tim is talking about staying away from the post editing until you learn how to use the camera. That's probably not a bad idea. Don't try to fix it once it's broke. Don't use it as a crutch is what his very next idea is. And then when you start doing post, you will understand more about what you need to adjust. Yeah, I agree with that. Especially for taking good pictures, a lot of us endeavor to record what it is that we're doing and then hopefully do more of the thing that we're doing. And so it is a balance between trying to learn how to use photography equipment and the programs, along with doing lapidary and rock hounding and finding
All the things.
all the things, the jewelry making. And
Oops.
he just gently booped us all away. Yep, like
Oops. Wait.
he's got a really good black background going on. Look at that black she's able to achieve.
I'm back.
And if you, I mean, even if you're just looking at the Julie there and just, using that as an example, playing with the light, the backlight, and then the rim light from the back, that can be one of those good effects that you can actually use when photographing your rocks as well. If you can actually have a light that's from the back into the side of your rock.
Ooh.
So
Yeah. Yeah,
Nice.
I have like
it's
little
a little
lights.
moody.
Yeah.
Turn this overhead on.
Yeah, we can turn the other one on now. There we go.
That was like a very moody and mystery
Mhm.
film good though. Like you
Yep.
could have like filmed a good little slasher there.
I do love Halloween.
And Theo is saying that Da Vinci is next level. And so movies have been made on Da Vinci. 2 Godzilla movies, actually. Okay.
Wow.
So it's got to be good. Yeah. Wow.
Gotta be good.
It's got to be. If it's
Sign
got
me up.
Godzilla in it. And so for Theo, who is I think running on ether right now, which is like absolutely his usual MO, but before he drops out, he's got a live going on. Theo, are you still here? Is it on Monday? And you guys were thinking about going live during the mid-afternoon, I think, or early afternoon, something like that. And so we'll be, yep, there it is, right from the horse's mouth. And so it'll be a live sale. And if y'all attended the last one, it was crazy, full of goodness, just as Brian and Julie's always are. And so if you don't have enough rocks in your life, there's another opportunity. And Theo, what would you say? Oh, here we go. Dun, dun, dun. We are doing a live sale Monday, probably 1 or 2-ish mountain time. So adjust accordingly to where you are. And we are going all day. Oh my goodness. Are you going are you going to stop for dinner like Julie and Brian did? That was pretty cool. Like, we just got to see like rock arranging for a little while and then it went back.
And rocks flying.
Yeah.
Flew some rocks.
Oh, and Theo's saying we're probably doing Monday and Tuesday. It sounds like those guys are honeymoon fundraising. So
Yeah,
definitely, what's that, Ma?
there goes my money.
Yep.
See,
Do some extra chores this weekend so that you can have some extra money to spend over there with Theo and Alexis. And they will be taking a few breaks, probably restart the live every couple hours to cut down the lag, which I fully endorse. That's a great idea. And then would you say there's anything in particular that you guys are going to be superstarring so that people know? I think last time there was a good bit of Jasper and Montana agate, obviously. And so I'm a personal fan of the labradorite slabs. Are we going to have any of that, or what other things might we be expecting to see? And they removed my most used features. That makes me mad. Oh, okay. So that's why you're stepping away from Filmora. Yeah, because they do keep on changing stuff. And I noticed that like they change stuff that used to be stock. Like I buy the upgrades or whatever, but I don't buy any extras. And so there are certain like titles and features that you can't use, you have to pay extra for. And they have taken some of the things that I used to always use and they've changed them into like you have to pay extra for them. And it's like, hey, wait a minute. Like, you used to always let me use that like
That's a
cool editing thing, and now I have to pay extra for it. I don't like that. And so that might be a reason. You're right. And let's see. I use Caden Live for video. I have not heard of that. It's free and I've learned to like it after I got past the learning curve. And you're nodding, Ryan, have you checked that out?
No.
All right. Just nodding.
Part of me nodding is trying to look over the camera arm so I can read the comments.
Gotcha. All right. And so that's interesting. I think that there are quite a few free versions of things out there that either you just have to have a logo writing in some part of what your video or your shot is, but still, it shouldn't be prohibitive from you being able to get stuff done. And we have slabs, agates, turritella, hopefully labradorite, baculites, fish, jaspers, pet wood, polished rocks, jewelry, cut rocks, banded iron, probably haunted ridge. I have so much right now. Facepalm. Thank you. Thank you. That does sound like quite the laundry list, and I can't see anything on there that I don't need. So, all right. Cool. And a good night, Kurt. Thank you so much for joining us. And so, let's see. As far as the stuff that we've hit this evening, is there a nugget that you feel like we haven't touched upon as far as taking good pictures of rocks? Ryan, do you have anything that's tickling your brain about that?
No, other than a play around, except for one. Get lots of these. If your phone is anything like mine, those two little lenses in the front of your camera get schmurry schmutz all over them, and that does not help in taking pictures.
Yeah. I agree with that one. Actually, I think it's in my sunstone video where we're in plush mining the sunstones. I actually show lens wipes like as part of the stuff that you take out there in your bag. Like if you've got a gimbal, then you might want some lens wipes as well if this is what you're doing. And for your glasses.
Yeah.
I don't know about you guys, but yeah, I think we all actually wear glasses. And, I'll be like working away all day and then I'll just be like this. Like, I can't see anything. What's the matter? And then I take my glasses off, and like there's just a cake of, dirt from mining, like you're kicking up all this dirt, and the same thing happens at the beach. You get the salt air and all of the ugh, that's, like in the mist. And like I'll have gooey glasses. I mean, you probably can see it if you look at one of the transitions between like, we're done at the beach, I'll see you in the studio. And you can't
Yeah.
see my eyes through my glasses. It's true.
Yeah. Because even like running on the cab machines, especially when I've been running the hard wheels, I get splatter all over the front of the camera, including the lens. And there's sometimes where I've shot a whole thing and there's just a big blob kind of sitting in one part of the scene. So
Oh yeah, yeah. Like all of my safety glasses look like they've, been through some sort of like a mudslide. They're just caked. So yeah, it's a good thing. It's like a favor that you can do to yourself to wipe your lenses on your gear for sure. We didn't really touch too much upon a putting together of a composition. We did talk about angle of stone, but how much do you work as far as the composition goes, Julie?
What do you mean?
So, when you're putting your stone shot together, like, are you taking a bunch of different shots of like every angle of the stone to find like which angle of the stone is best, or do you, we were just talking about the ring that Julie showed us, how they're like having some asymmetry to the composition makes it look better. Does that wash over your head very often, or are you just looking to take the shot?
I will usually I won't use angles because I'm trying to get the flat surface of the rock. But what I'll do is I will move my lights in different directions to see what light is best and take a bunch of pictures and then see which photo is the best one and then use that one because light here is each rock is different. Each rock needs different light. It needs more light, less light. So I have to find the perfect sweet spot for that one particular rock. So, I mean, my dog used to have her little ears. I called them satellites, and they were always like this. I am constantly doing that with my lights.
That's a great analogy. That's exactly like, like until you lock on.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. And
sometimes
I don't want a shiny edge or anything like that. So I have to move it, or sometimes the lights need to go closer in together. Sometimes they need to be out. So it's all about placement of light. So
awesome.
I can take one shot and nail it. And then there'll be times where I have to take 50 shots of one rock just to get one good one.
And a lamp is usually thrown about then too.
Yeah.
and Brian is like the body counter.
Yeah.
Like, we only had 3 deaths during that photo shoot.
Yeah,
Hey,
I know
Ma.
how well the photo shoot's going depending on the level of the sound of destruction.
Right. If it sounds like she's putting away pots and pans, it's a good idea to stay in the trailer still.
Exactly. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Duck and cover.
Right. Shots fired. So Ma, your composition is always bang on. Like I love what you do in your shots. Tell us a little bit about how you approach composition in your photography.
I just put it where it looks good to me. I don't know how else to. There's not like a trick I'm using. I put it where it looks good to me. And
Hmm.
that's all you can do, right? Is just, I mean, with me, I just kind of go with my instincts. I mean, there's techniques like, I'm sure that there's some sort of like mathematical reason why something will look better if you put it in the lower third, blah 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 of the blah blah blah. But I just do it by what my eye likes to see. I'm sorry if that's not helpful.
No,
Um,
that's even more helpful, I think, than something that's overly sciencey.
mhm.
Right. But see, like this is a necklace that I had trouble. You cannot see how awesome the colors are in that pendant. You can't see it. This is like one of my things where I never nailed. I couldn't figure this one out. I could only get good pictures of this if it was very close up. Um, and I'm probably just need to get better lights or more lights. Yeah, I love that
Um,
one.
yeah. So, whoops, going back. We're on slideshow mode. Yeah. So, again, we're talking about centering on both of these pictures, but getting the striking effect. And so, when you got the striking effect, was it kind of like what Julie was talking about, where you just changed and changed and changed till you found like, oh, that there it is.
Well, yeah, a little bit, but this was like taking pictures of this particular pendant was a joy because it just bends the light and it's so cool. And it's like I didn't have to try. That just happened when I took pictures. And I did move the light around as far as like where's the light shining into. And even like the one on the left, I think I had that one a little bit like out of the light. I don't know. But I just like this thing, like it was a joy because it just bent the light like crazy and I didn't have to do anything special. It was just like, look at me, take my picture again, you know?
Love me. Yeah,
I love that
that
pendant.
it. Yeah, I think that this kind of goes back to one of the things that we were talking a little bit about before, where some stuff just seems more photogenic, and you
Mhm.
got the first picture's gonna do. Like you're just
Yeah,
like you're just freaking lovely, and the camera loves you, and you don't
yeah,
have to put on pouty lips or anything.
exactly.
Yeah, and other ones you're just like, wow, you're just like,
You're
I
an
like
ugly
you in
duck.
my hand. Yeah, but you are a vulture baby, you
Yeah,
know.
it's like sometimes you just can't get it to look. I've had a little bit of trouble with some of the Napomo agates where it's got that really high marcasite content in it, and I can if it's flat, like if I take a picture of the back of the cab, it's so gorgeous and shows you exactly what it looks like. It's like it's reflecting
Mhm.
evenly from every surface, but you're trying to take a domed picture of a cab like that, and you're only really seeing the little one spot where that's showing up right, and then the rest of the picture is really dark. Like I struggle with, I'm still trying to
Yeah.
figure it out.
Especially for me, when you're trying to not just do a completely from the top of the cab. If you're trying to take a picture of the kind of at an angle, it can really become tricky too because of all the different light and the way everything is playing too.
Yeah,
Absolutely. Yeah, yeah. And that's why I just think that, taking just a gazillion pictures, even if you do think you have the good one in the first, like just like Julie, like I'll take just a flurry of great pictures outside and then realize I wasn't actually taking pictures. So,
Yeah.
yeah, that just does happen. And then actually we had one up here. Bob's is saying hard hat and face shield for Brian, part of the photography equipment that is necessary. But also sticky putty for rocks that don't want to sit
Mhm.
still at an angle, at the angle you want them to be. And I love this.
Oh
Julie,
yeah.
Julie was using a rock for a shim that was absolutely gorgeous, actually, like this great rock. And she was just like, no, that's not part of the auction. That's actually just part of the putting the rocks together.
It's a prop.
And it was a yeah, a proc.
A proc.
A
A
prop
proc,
rock.
right? Yeah.
Mhm.
And Ryan is holding up the easel, and so those mini easels are awesome. like in this picture here, I actually whoops, I stuck whoops, gee whiz, I stuck the rock into another rock because that always seems to look fine, and so a lot of times I'll prop them, but a piece of putty will keep it where you want it to be, and then you can, like, if I didn't like the way that the sun was just kind of peeking on that one side of the cab, for this cab I wanted to show how shiny it was and the contour, and so sometimes the glare or the shine is something you can utilize because you can see the stone behind it too. It's like it's not so bright that it's overtaking the pattern of the stone behind it. And so like there's things that you can manipulate that you like. But if I didn't like that angle, if I had putty on that, then I could like just take that whole situation and turn it, And so I do very much love the sticky putty thing for maneuvering rocks. And then I actually have putty on a ball vise. So I have, like I use my ball vise for jewelry, and yet I can stick a rock to that, and then it just goes wherever I want it to and sits there. And so get a ball vise for your rock situation if you're taking smaller pictures. And I use that for my mostly the microscope is that it's sitting in the ball vise, and I can just cruise around moving the vise instead of moving the rock.
There you go.
Nice.
I brought in one of my machinist sign vices, so you can tilt it back and forth, up and down, and I've used that. But one of the issues that I ran in with that is, especially if I polish the backside, it slides down the material. So it's hard to keep the material. So I'm gonna have to find something that's a little stickier than an old shirt that I'm using now.
You might have to upgrade to putty there.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, James. I appreciate that. James would like to give us all a supercharger. Wow. Supercharger of what? What kind of supercharger does everybody want? Like for my car or for my phone or my energy tonight? Thank you so much, James. Really appreciate that. It's interesting to see how the sausage gets made in everybody's different studio. Like, having like, what do you hold the subject with? Like, vices are awesome. It looks like Brian could actually use what's behind Ryan in the studio for Julie. Like, here, throw this.
Yeah.
Yeah.
There are stuffed animals back there.
You might need some stuffed animals, Brian, like, just to put around her photography studio for when she needs to throw something.
Yeah. But I would not suggest the battle axe that's up there though too.
Oh, there's a battle. That would be fun. Yeah. Like, no, include the battle axe as well. That would be great.
I'll just be in the garage cutting rocks.
Axe practice.
Brian's in chainmail in the living room.
Yeah, right.
It's not that bad. It's just sometimes she gets a little frustrated. Not all the time.
Yeah, I understand that. But when I throw stuff, I just have to go pick it up. So I try to avoid it.
That's why we have dogs, actually, is so that the dogs just fetch it and come and bring it back to me. And so, because stuff goes flying around here a lot. Like, in sometimes I feel like there's like an anti-gravity thing going on in my studio between me dropping things and throwing them. Stuff is just kind of airbound quite a bit. And Mr. Turtle Montana says almost 8,000 photos and videos of rocks on my phone. Like, if anybody finds our phones,
they're like, what is this person's problem?
Seriously. Oh man. Yeah, like well, it's gonna get returned because, like, how unique, right?
Yeah.
Here's this chick with gooey glasses on the beach. Like, there's not hard to find. Yeah.
I found a rock and here's some clouds and my dog.
Yeah, right.
Yep.
Do
Cats
a
and
quick
rocks.
Google search and you come right up.
I guess that's one advantage to having your password 1234, so they can actually view your videos. To get the hi, this is Karen from Ozone Fine Art Venues. Oh, now we know whose phone it is.
Right. And she's got no money because like
Yeah.
Kyle and Julie and Brian and Theo all have my money, so it's okay. Don't have to empty out the wallet here, so just send it back to her. Yeah. Thanks you guys. I got you on that, James. And so we were covering composition. I was trying to just make sure that we got everything that was on your list, Ryan, because he sent me the coolest list of stuff that we need to check out. And then
He's
we what's that, Ma?
Oh, it looks to me like he's checking his list.
Yeah.
That could be.
And so what we'd love though is if you guys would include some of the questions that you might have still in the comments. And what we can do is have a part 2, because like this was so just the tip of the iceberg on how to shoot rocks and what you're doing and what's your approach and what's the artistry. We didn't really touch too much on the artistry of it, which is actually my jam. I wouldn't do it if there wasn't some creative aspect to it. It would just be probably too boring. Even though it does have to do with rocks. The two things that I think drive me to take good pictures of rocks is the creativity of it, and that I so want to share them with you guys. Like I can't wait to like, oh my gosh, you guys, dude.
better photos might win you a monthly photo contest.
Oh yeah, Ryan, that's true. And so what Ryan is alluding to, I will let Ryan explain.
It's just on the Discord. We are Caleb Jahik has started a monthly themed competition for cabochons, and I could see, even on the first month's submissions incoming, better photography might kind of put you over the edge if you don't know, because if you can't see a feature that you're trying to show off, somebody else may not be able to either.
Good point.
Yeah, that is great.
Better lighting.
Yep. And so that's good practice. And this particular contest is for beginners all the way up through. And so if you've never ever taken a picture of a cab or made one, join, because that's what it's about. It's actually really to start folks down the road on both making and this element of presentation. And so there's plenty of help to be had if you want to reach out and ask for help. And then of course, the fun of it, like it's really, really much easier to get something done when you have a goal.
It really is.
Yeah.
Like I said, and also with just the generic, themed, I don't know, portfolio, because I think we talked about it here, is you're just going to get a general thing and it won't be a contest, but you just make something and share. I mean, it always makes you feel better as well, when you can share a picture of something that looks like what you made.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I like that you mentioned portfolio. That's pretty awesome. I'm working on my portfolio. And so yeah, you've got either some really nice shots to put up on your Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, or whatever, or literally if you are looking at one point presenting the work that you're doing because you want to sell through a gallery, or if you want to join a rock club that wants to see that you actually do stuff. I mean, that it's legit. Actually, I'm not just making fun. Like, portfolio is not a bad thing to have together, or you can use one of those sexy shots on your business card or what have you. Like, Steve kept on kicking my butt to, like, dude, you need to make new business cards, dude. And so yeah, and then I was like, oh, I gotta look through my shots and see if there's something that qualifies as expressing what I want to. And so yeah, having some really nice shots. Or when somebody asks you, like, oh, what do you do? Like that poor, like, aunt or grandma that asks you at one of the family gatherings, like, oh, what you been up to? Yeah.
Val,
That terrible scroll through your phone,
Yeah, Val had a question. Joining the Discord does not cost money
Oh,
to join.
no,
So,
it doesn't. Where was that?
It's just came up here, so you may not have gotten to it yet. So I just wanted to make sure.
Oh,
And
Val
can one of
Summers.
can one of the moderators maybe post a link so Val can
I
find
can't
us?
do it from here.
I think. Oh, can
Is
I?
Allison still there?
I might. I don't know if Allison's still there. She
Still there?
might be. But
And
I think I'm fetching it. I can get it.
okay,
I think I can do
yeah,
it.
Thanks, Kim.
But yeah, it's what
'cause
else am I
I'm
here
not a
for?
rancher, so
What?
I don't think so. Am I a rancher?
Oh, I should make
You
you
may
a wrench.
you may have.
I might have thought that I should. I just posted a link, and that's the link to the Discord. Thank you, Lisa. I gotcha. Don't you worry. So here's the link to the Discord. It's got a 48-hour expiration period. It's a closed group, but you guys are all invited. We just keep it that way because trolls. And so we're just a super duper chill rock loving community that just this is one of the reasons why you want to take good pictures of your rocks, is just to post them on Discord so that everybody can go, like, heart, fire, happy face, stars, whatever it is that.
Yeah, and there is both an app that you can have both for Windows and the mobile, but you can just go through the web as well. I really haven't done that for a while, but many different options for you.
And actually, the gentleman that isn't here tonight that would have been if he could, Jahik, was actually doing lives on the Discord as opposed to much work over here on YouTube, and now he's starting on YouTube. But we all know his fame from over there, and so there's a lot going on over on the Discord. Not only this contest and general and show and tell. Like, the show and tell is where you really want to be taking, like, these awesome shots of your stuff. But there's also lives, and people have met in the lives before for tutorial reasons. Like, hey, I'm having trouble with this one thing. Can you help me? And like, okay, let's go meet in one of the voice and video chats and work on this thing in real time. And so actually it's a tool. And so the Discord is what you make it. It's a sandbox for y'all to play with your rocks. And so I highly endorse it. But there's a lot of fun meetups in the lounge where we get to show off rocks and watch somebody work, which is super cool.
Agree.
Oh yeah. And Jahik would love everybody to know, get your live edge cabs done, because it's a February contest and it will end sometime towards the end of February. He'll close the contest and then open up the voting. Everybody gets to vote, and the person who wins gets to choose the next theme. And Ma was our last winner, and she chose this theme that we're working on right now, which is live edge captions, which is what we saw from Ryan. This guy here. This guy here. Oh, stop.
Or this one here. Maybe it's
not
this
the
one.
happy and sad faces, but these pieces of bacon. But you have to stop. Oh, slideshow mode. I love you so much. Now pause. Oh, nope. You're gonna try one more time, and maybe that time it'll stick. I don't know. But yeah. So here's our one of our live edge. Oh, she's already throwing lights, you guys. Everybody.
There was a light thrown.
Yeah. She's a light bender. And so yeah, this is an example of one of our live edge cabs, part of the contest. I saw Kurt has a new one up there right now that is stunning. And so yeah, pop on over there and check him out. You can message Jahik and he can take a look if you have any questions, because I guess Theo was wondering on one, and Theo, you have to submit it, and so we'll figure out how that is going to be applicable, because it was super cool. Not that I've seen it or anything. But anyways, yeah, so it's just a way of bringing all y'all of the community together. So do you guys have parting words on photographing your rocks and how to be kind to them? Julie, I'll start with you.
Well, don't throw lights. Breathe. And honestly, I think that using your phone to take pictures works out better than that I found works better than using this.
The camera.
This is my I can record on this and I take pictures on it. And I was gonna say, I remember now. There is a setting for what is it? Not a wide angle picture, but shorter, so it's not so. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Square versus normal widescreen. Yeah.
Widescreen,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yep. And so there is you can set those. You can.
I have no idea.
Oh my gosh.
I don't pay attention to
okay.
You can select the
just
type
say-
of photo to take. Yeah.
This is not neck down material here.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, could you
Help me out
sign?
here, Brian.
We need Brian to sign language the thing.
I think in pictures, and so I can see it. I just can't say it. It's rough, let me tell you.
I hear you.
To explain technical things, I'm very creative and artistic, and I just do it. I can't explain it. I just do it. But if you were here, I could show you. This is how you do it. I think I was like a mime in my past life.
Yeah, probably was actually. But it's kind of funny because we
Silent
pieced it
film
together
actress.
a while ago, and the difference between Julie and myself. Julie thinks in abstracts.
I do.
And I'm very much a more logical, linear thinker, which is why I think we do work together so well, because a lot of times when she's trying to explain the abstract, I can put it into the logical terms that need to come out, except for when it comes to the camera stuff, because I seriously don't pay any attention to what she does with the camera, because I'm just like, I don't know. I don't want to know. And when she does get into that editing mode and she starts to get a little crubby. That's what we call it, crubby. Yeah. That's crabby and grumpy together. Crubby. So,
Feed me.
I love
I'll be
it.
fine.
yeah. So when she gets a little crubby, I just keep I'm either cutting rocks or I'm polishing rocks or I'm cleaning rocks. I'm doing something just to stay the heck out of the way, because she's focused, and asking her questions does not help the process.
Okay, can we clarify this? When I'm,
Crubby?
head deep in editing, and every time he cuts a rock, what do you think of this? And he's dripping rock water all over the place. Look.
You gotta see this one.
Okay, after the 20th slab, it gets a little old. I'm just saying.
I like to share. What can I say?
Oh, that's great.
Can't keep it to myself. This one's really cool. Take a look. Don't mind
Right?
the dripping rock
And
water.
then she gives it to me. So you know what? I have slabs in my bed, under my pillow, on my nightstand, all everywhere. It's stupid.
Oh, that's great. Because you'd be mad if like, hey, you didn't show me that one. Like,
I would
after
never
you
know, Karen.
Where'd
Actually, I
that
probably
come
would.
She
from?
would know.
I would know.
You're
yeah.
hiding that.
You would know.
Oh, that's great. No, we've done the same thing, but Steve will be dripping oil, so it's
Yeah,
even
that's-
more fun.
yeah.
Yeah.
I've almost done that a couple times.
We need
Yeah.
new carpet now.
Yeah. So
Well,
do
we've
we.
needed new carpet since we had kids.
Dogs.
Dogs. Yeah. We figure like we'll just run out this carpet with dogs and saw oil and like the stuff from the different lapidary machines. Yeah, and then rip it up and maybe when we leave, I don't know.
Yeah. Make it all pretty when you leave. Yeah.
Right? I hate that though. You're like, why does it look so nice when we're leaving? Like the last
Now I don't want to leave.
Yeah. Like why didn't we treat ourselves to this?
Exactly.
Because we can't have nice things is the
No.
answer to that.
No, when you're a rock hound, you can't have nice things.
No.
Used to be that's the reason we can't have nice things.
Yeah, now it's
Now it's both of us.
Yeah.
Well, as long as the onus is, firmly placed where like, you know what, I want to be able to have fun with my rock equipment inside. And I'm the adult here, so I'm doing it.
Yep.
So the carpet goes away, fine.
Who cares about
prerogative.
drywall? We don't care.
Right.
Make it a window.
It's replaceable.
I don't know if
Make
you need a window from the living room to your bedroom, but we have one now.
Right.
Sorry, kids.
Yeah. Walk through walls. Yeah. I like it. It's new. It's like edgy. Yeah.
Yeah. We have 2 doors, 2 windows.
Why not? Doesn't everyone?
Yeah. Everybody should.
All right. That's funny. Rufotris is like literally listening to this while he's running the carpet cleaner. Yeah. I think that our floor would kill a carpet cleaner right now, though. I mean, it's just not even like there's probably more sand in that carpet than there is at the beach. And so it's just kind of a lot. It's a true story, you guys. Mud room is like the whole house.
Mud house.
Yeah, the whole house. Yeah. And yet Ma actually is the smartest one of us all. She just works outside. Like she has her tent. Yeah.
Yeah, that was a decision I made. Sure, we'll go with that.
But it is a stroke of brilliance, keeping all of that, like you don't have to worry. Like go ahead and spill all of your saw juice.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's dirt and mulch floors.
Oh.
Yeah.
Yep.
We did used to work outside until our neighbor.
Did they complain?
Oh yeah, we have an HOA, so.
I'm waiting for the noise, like especially like me, especially on the hard disk. So I have to. I'm watching TV or YouTube while I'm doing that. So that's turned all the way up, and the only thing holding the sound in is tent walls and insulated blankets. So I'm surprised that I complained just about my TV being so loud, so that I could hear it over my phone. I have a feeling it's coming.
Right. It's like the live streams. Like everybody's like, what are you listening to even in the neighborhood? They're like, what are you?
I'm sure.
They know Cheryl's voice. Hey,
My
Cheryl.
neighbor's pretty old, so maybe that's helping.
Yeah.
Maybe they just can't hear it.
Yeah. I actually had one of my neighbors come over because we're up on the side of a hill. So it's kind of like an amphitheater in my neighborhood. And
Oh,
so,
no.
yeah, one of my neighbors came over and was like, "What in the world are you listening to?" And it was that I was working outside because I love outside my studio, and I was listening to you guys. Like,
Yeah.
at some point, like just speakers turned to the door so that I could hear what was going on because I love to lurk and work. And like, could you not do that? Like, no.
No, I need to do this.
Yeah. I mean, like it was during the day. Like I hear other people's like yacht rock here at the beach like all day long. Why not?
Yeah.
Come on.
What's the difference?
Yeah, it's give and take.
Oh, yeah,
Sorry.
I have a school. I have a school with screaming children behind my house for, Monday through Friday. So yeah,
Cool.
what's your problem? What's your problem?
Right?
It can't be worse than that. That's
Yeah.
impossible.
Yeah. Our voices and our rock machines would sound melodic in comparison to screaming children, really
Thank-
honestly. You would think. Yeah.
I would rather listen to a song or a saw than a screaming child.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Any day.
Any of us that have been parents know this
Yeah.
already anyway. In fact, I don't even know if I hear children screaming anymore. Like I think that is like been blocked from my brain cells. Like I can't even hear it. Like what? Like that thing where your kid is like, mom, 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 and you just don't even hear it.
Yeah, you don't. I was gonna say that you can't hear that word anymore. You can't hear mom anymore.
I'd much rather listen to a screaming kid than a screaming parent.
Oh, that's
That's just me.
Ooh, touche. Yeah, I don't think I did much of that because I couldn't hear him.
Yeah.
I never hollered back. And so Rufotris likes to work outside. He misses working outside. I liked it on my old patio. Not really an option here. Dude, let's get you another place. You need to like move to we need a rock compound, everyone, where everybody doesn't care. The HOA only takes care of like making sure that everybody's, their water saw drippings go into places where the plants like them, and whoever's leaving the compound is going to pick up more tumbler grit for everybody else. Like that's what we need in our lives.
I like this plan.
Would that be Waco or Wacko?
Wacko.
Wacko. Definitely wacko.
Yeah. Like wacko, like with a hammer and a chisel. Yeah, that sort of thing. I like it. Let's start the compound. Rufo, we've got your back at some point. We'll be looking for land. And a state that will take us. So let's see, lots of extra pictures. People are still having this conversation about the pictures. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Mike Webb is looking for a toy hauler so that they can put their shop in there and travel. I love that idea. Oh,
that would be cool.
Well, yeah. So Brian and Julie, you guys just came back from both Tucson and Quartzsite, and you know how many people travel there to do work. And so there's like a bunch of rigs that are set up so that you can, just kind of unflap your stuff and get working. Yeah, you guys need that.
Yeah, we need that.
Hey,
what's that?
Neck down. Are we doing that?
He's texting right now. He's not engaged.
Somebody's asking about never mind. Anyways,
more rocks.
He's actually in the live chat too. But anyhow, what was the question? I'm sorry.
Mobile rock studio. Brian, go.
Mobile rock studio. We need, because Mike Webb said that he was going to get a toy hauler and put all of his lapidary equipment in there, and he can work. And
I like it.
Yeah, I said we need one of those.
We do need one of those.
Yeah.
Hey Val, are we invited? Where are you?
I like it. Okay.
10 acres is enough, you guys. And Resort Dog is saying rural ranchette. Rural ranchette is not easy to say, you guys. And so, yeah, let's do that. And we'll bring all of our mobile rock studios. And at the very least, we could like rocking man it,
Yeah.
Let's do a rocking man.
A rock
Yeah,
man.
I suggested
Yeah.
mine, but Central Illinois is not a good place to find rocks. So
Now
Wow.
we like maybe someplace a little bit more central,
yeah,
like
yeah.
Val, where are you? Rock Village, exactly. Let's see, like a resort dog. I don't think that this is for this this particular part of the conversation, but an open pit mine is where we could all hang out. Is a good idea if we can keep working the pit mine for sure. I'll do that. But let's see. That sounds like an awesome place. Where is that awesome place though? Where is it? Giant basalt peeking above the surface. Well, good. Where are we? Oh, wait, no. It's not northern Illinois. Okay, good.
At least northern Illinois is closer to the lakes up there. But
Yeah. Oh no. What? Starting when I get home from AZ on Tuesday, I bought an amazing 6-pound chunk of beautiful Veracite full of agate and druzy bots. What?
Jeebus.
Are you serious, dude?
We
I
need
need to talk to you. Yeah,
pictures.
pictures. We have been talking about making pictures all evening long. Turtle
Yeah, get
Montana, and and he has been putting in some really, really nice suggestions, and so I think that you need to flex on that, sir. And put him up on the Discord. But I have a special heart in my place. I have a special place in my heart. Yeah, for Veracite. And let's see, Val still hasn't really said. We're moving to Canada, everybody. She's in
hey,
Chasm, BC, and there was great rejoicing by Ryan. All right, and it does sound incredible. All right, so Ryan, do you have any parting thoughts on taking pictures of rocks, sir?
no, other than to don't be afraid to take them and share them, even if you don't think you take the best photos, because they can only get better, and not much more.
All right. I think that that's great. That's some great wise, though, on account that you got to start somewhere. We know this with all of this stuff, with the lapidary, with the video making,
Hmm.
with the mining. Like, how many times do you not find? It's called hounding,
Hmm.
not finding. It's kind of like, how fishing is not called catching. And
Yep.
so, yeah, keep trying. Keep trying. And Ma, how about you?
Please repeat the question for those of us who may not have.
I was reading the chat. And so what words of wise for the rock hounding or making rather? No, even just taking pictures. Good Lord. Yeah, my brain just went flying away also.
Got anything to add before we go?
Yeah, that Ryan. Thank you for co-hosting. Need brain.
I'd say keep it simple and try to just capture the most beautiful aspect of whatever rock you're trying to show, whether it's like something you just found or a piece of jewelry you made or a cabochon you've created. Just keep it simple. That's what's been working for the best for me. So that's what I'll leave with there.
That is awesome.
And
yeah. Go ahead.
I say I'm done.
And she's done.
Yeah.
Till I say another thing. And thank you guys all. Like I said, if you have any words of wise that you want to add, put them in the comments, please. And then also, if you have any questions for the next time, definitely put them in the comments. We didn't cover hardly any of the vast, huge expanse of things about taking pictures of rocks and how to share them. And so we'll do another episode. Stay tuned until that. And when is your next thing happening, Julie and Brian, for everybody to watch?
Sunday.
Sunday.
I have not kept track of what day it is.
Today's Friday.
So today's Friday.
So we have to come up with a topic before Sunday.
So Sunday live.
Sunday live, everybody.
Yeah.
I don't know what we're going to talk about.
It's gonna be fun. Something. It's always fun. All right. And so make sure to watch that on Sundays. It's always, let's see, 6 Arizona time, which is 5 on the Pacific. And Ryan and everybody else on the East, you guys can do your math too.
No, I can't.
It's probably
You know the number of times that I've gone the wrong way in this. Like, it showed up at 5 Central instead of like 7.
Oh
my
no!
Goodness.
Right.
That's when I know I haven't gotten enough sleep the night before.
and Jahik will be along for the part 2, of course. Of course, Kyle is live all weekend long with his sale going on. Usually Katie does something before Julie and Brian go on. Mm-hmm. I might have something to drop after Brian and Julie go on, because I've been liking just going on after those guys on account that people, even though they're satiated by Brian and Julie, everybody's asking at the end, like, okay, who's going on now?
Who's going on next?
Yeah. Yeah, somebody's got to, and so we'll keep that revolving around. And I believe that Lapidary Dave has been going live quite a bit with all of the shenanigans going on over there in Tucson. Don't miss La Femme Mécanique's beautiful Tucson videos, as well as her lapidary journal one that she just dropped. Cynthia Foss had a micro video that she dropped. If I'm forgetting you, I'm not doing it on purpose. Y'all have some fabulous videos going on. Get out there, watch those videos. Don't sit in your studio alone, not bothering your neighbors with rock media turned up loud.
Yeah.
That is my word of wise for the evening. Thank you so much, Julie and Brian, for hanging out.
Yeah, thanks for having us.
Thanks for having us.
Thank you, Melissa, for your beauty and wisdom and rock incredibleness.
Aw, thanks.
And Ryan, also thank you for your beauty and stuffed animals and rock beauty and wisdom, photography, all the things.
All the stuffs and things.
Yeah.
I reckon he won those at the carnival, no?
Yeah,
Tigger.
Yeah, I believe that would be I don't know how long ago. It's probably 20 some years.
Aw, that's awesome. So Eeyore has his Tigger, eh?
Yeah, although I don't think I have an Eeyore in here. He may be sitting elsewhere. But
well,
if you're not creeped out by that, you could see what is hanging in the corner of the room.
Okay, what's happening?
Like a bottom lip puppet.
Yeah.
It has to be really one of the creepier things I've seen. That is fantastic. Not a slasher movie between Julie's like dark lighting and Ryan. If you just roamed in here,
that's from Germany.
That's cool.
My one overseas trip that I made probably sometime in the 90s, if I remember right. So.
Do you play with the puppet?
No, because I would actually have to clean that corner of the room so I could actually physically make it over there to the corner again. It's
safer now.
Yeah, there's a reason the camera is pointed not at the floor.
I totally understand what you're talking about. All right. Well, thank you guys, everyone, for coming in for this discussion. I really appreciate all of your knowledge and your wisdom and sharing it with the greater rock community. All of y'all that were hanging out in the chat, you guys rock, as you already know. Here comes Kyle right at the end. Have a wonderful Valentine's Day too, sir, and you and your family. Go over on the Discord for more excitement all weekend long as well. Who knows who's going to be live over there? If it's not happening on YouTube, it might be happening over there on the Discord. Thank you for swinging in, Soul. And she's planning on doing some live unboxings next week. That's always good to know. And hopefully we're going to see some of you, Rufo. We're missing your face. I know you dropped something relatively recently, and so did Jeff from JNV Rock Hounding. So go ahead and check out those, and then we'll be looking for the new lives, and then, or rather, videos. And then, of course, there's always the Allison Prairie Girl Rocks lives on Wednesday for coffee, which my week just isn't right if I miss that. And so happy Valentine's to you. We love you all. This was for the love of rocks and the love of doing our rocks like their due beauty by taking good pictures of them. And for that, I will give you a hearty cheers and we'll go to the credits. Thank you so much for being here. Cheers. And Steinkerns and Pros and all the things that you say. And we will see you very soon. And oh man, Ryan was he was reaching for something. I thought he's gonna like have
No,
some like German
let's-
Stein or something
let's see,
or another
turn-
puppet.
Turn out the lights. The party's over.
Okay. he's starting the music video. Okay.
Yeah.
And I'm gonna start the credits. Thanks again, everyone. Love you, and we will see you next time.
Bye.
Alive, everybody. Man, we can't hear me.
Yeah.
Let's start over again. Are you here? Am I here? and we can't hear me. Let's start over again.